Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
This what I tell 'em. Look, I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. Hot or cold, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles. Go take care of your business. Success Chronicles. It's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles. Excited to have Coach Jason Holzer with us, and great guy doing some amazing things to make a positive difference in our world. I'm so thankful to have him on. So first off, Coach, thanks so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles.
Yeah, it's an honor to be on here. Thank you, Chip, for having me, man. It's always great to be around like-minded people with similar purposes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, let's dive into it. I know off air we did the preview to the preview. We, unintentionally, we already dived deep into it, But if you don't mind sharing your life story and tracking your story till now.
Yeah, I grew up in a small town in the middle of Missouri near Jeff City. Great family. I'm so thankful for the family I had. My parents were very involved. My dad was an electrician. He was a blue-collar worker, and they gave me everything that they could to the best of their ability. And I grew up loving sports. Ever since I was, could walk, I feel like, there's a picture of me in front of the Stan Musial statue in front of Busch Stadium in St. Louis. And I've just always loved sports. It just connected with me. I just felt like this was like what I love to do. And then, as I grew up, I went through those middle school doubts, and I went through some of those things like you kind of go through, like questioning your identity. And I ended up being the last one cut from the basketball team in my freshman year. And I went back again my sophomore year, made it my sophomore year. But then my junior year, I quit. I didn't keep going. And I regret that a lot because whenever I would play in college with pickup ball, people were like, "Hey, where did you play?" I was like, "Well, I only played for." Like, you did? Like, man, you're much better than that. I never would have expected that. So, I have some regrets about giving up on myself early on. But then, whenever I was 17, I lost my dad to suicide. And that really, talking about with COVID, like being flipped upside down on a dime. That's what my life was at 17. I was literally like, one day he was here, the next day he wasn't. And there was no, I searched, my family searched for a note. We searched for, something. It was 2003. So there wasn't like, there was like, cell phones weren't really that advanced at that time, or, same with, videos and that kind of stuff. So, myself and my family were left wondering, like, what had him get to that point. And we still don't know. To this day, 17 years ago, or 17 years fast forward. But I ended up, picking myself up, taking things one day at a time. My mom was big in believing in faith, and we still went to church, and we still did things as a family. It just looked a little bit different. But, now forward 17 years later, I'm 35, and I married a lovely woman, and we have 2 great kids. And, at the end of the day, I'm truly thankful for where I'm at now, where I was half my lifetime ago, because it's almost feels like it's 2 polar opposites from where I'm at right now.
That's good stuff. Great story. It's crazy how our ace can end up being someone else's saving grace. Our adverse childhood experiences, like you've gone through, we can take those blessings and the lessons and use that, and now help us to be a blessing to so many other people, like you're doing. And so now, like, you had that pretty rough experience, but now you can take the hurt and the pain and the passion and the fire and the fuel, put it all together now in what you do, helping so many. If you don't mind, I'd love for you to kind of talk about what it is you do with 4D Athlete, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so I've and I wear this hat. This was a hat I gave my dad for Father's Day before he passed away, because one of the things we did was sports. Like, he would take me to baseball games. Like, we would drive 2.5 hours to go to St. Louis for games all the time.
Awesome.
And he never had like an official hat, So I was 16. I was like, Dad, you gotta get like the right hat. And so with 40 Athletes, what I've done is I've taken my passion of love of sports and my deepest pains of losing my dad to suicide, and turned it into a where I teach people in general life skills through sports. Because this is the way I feel like I prevent suicide, was by getting ahead of it and helping people understand who they are, kids, athletes, who they are, and using sports as a care, because a lot of kids love to play sports. So taking what they love and providing those teachable moments within the sport to help them with life.
So good stuff. And what's crazy is, as you're going, as we grew through sports, you're doing, like, being on time and persevering and hard work and, loving the game and all of those things. But what you don't know is that those are transferable skills.
Mm-hmm.
And those transferable skills you will take and carry with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It's nothing that I've gone through in my life that was tougher than having that running test in college. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing tougher than, having that first college off-season workout. Hey, nothing in my life will ever be tougher than that. And if I live through that, oh man, come on.
Yeah.
It makes
everything else easier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, hey, I did that. Man, this is a cakewalk,
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I've done with my life too. It's like, man, I made it through my dad, dying by suicide, COVID. Come on, man, let's go. Like, my family's healthy, dude. I'm gonna be better on the end of this. Just having that positive mentality of, like, I've seen what hell looks like. I've been there.
Yeah.
And COVID is causes some trying times for a lot of people. I'm not underestimating that at all. But from my perspective, I'm like, man, I've been in the trenches, and I just kept digging, and I got out of it. So this is just another way to build that resiliency muscle in a lot of ways too.
Love it. And reps make you better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's another life lesson through sports.
And if you think about it too, like, in sports we focus so much on the physical skills of, like, getting 100 swings in, or getting those blocking schemes. I know you're an offensive line coach, getting those down, but at 40 Athletes, we like, well, what if we did that with the life skills?
Yeah.
I think how much better people would be if we treat the life skills like we treat the physical skills of sports that we emphasize so much on. So, that's another thing of, like, what we see is we can transform kids' lives by helping them have transferable skills when they're done playing sports. Because we all finish playing sports at some point, whether it's, 16, 18, 25, 30, 40, at some point, we're not going to be able to play certain sports throughout our life. So what are the things that we can take while we're playing that help us become better people, not just better players?
Transferable skills that can transform your life. Whew. So good, man. So good. So what are 3 things you've accomplished in your life that you're proud of?
Marrying my wife is number one. Because like you and I talked about before here, if without her support, can I still be doing the things I'm doing? Yes, but not to the magnitude. I think, like, finding that right person that truly supports you and understands you and is willing to, sacrifice some of her ambitions as well for a greater good. I think, she is one of my, I don't want to use the word accomplishment because it's not like I was, but it's definitely, a huge key to my success. You know what I mean? Having that right person that understands you. And
well, you can say it like this, Coach. It was a big accomplishment for me to find that
right.
girl.
Yeah. Personal accomplishment. Yes. Yeah.
Not the wife, but it was accomplished for me.
For me, 100%. That is so true, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And my second one is, I wrote a book about losing my dad to suicide, and I turned it a post-traumatic growth. And so the first part is my story of what I personally firsthand went through in that experience. And then the second part of it was, what did I do to move forward after feeling left behind? And that's part of the title of my book. Because I went to college as my master's in sports management, my undergrad's in phys ed. Nothing says, hey, Jason, you're going to be an author in my education, right?
Yeah.
Nothing. I mean, and so like I trusted my intuition, like, hey, write a book. And I wrote it to help one person. Like if one person read it and they, it saved their life, or they thought differently about, like maybe they were on the brink of taking their own life, or maybe it comforts people who have lost other people to suicide, knowing that, hey, Jason can do it, and maybe I can do it too. And then the third one is what I'm creating currently with 40 athletes. And our big goal is to transform 100 million athletes worldwide using the power of sports to truly enrich people's lives with the things that truly matter at the end of the day.
Awesome, man. Good stuff. Well, just hearing you talk about your journey, 4D athlete, the things that you're proud of, your big accomplishment, your wife. But I would consider all of those things to be hugely successful. What's your definition of success?
Earl Nightingale put it very well. He said, the definition of success is the continuous progression of a worthy ideal. I think like we get so caught up in, do you have this, whatever material thing is, or do you have, or are you in the right neighborhood, or, you name, are you going to the right school, or do you have the right awards? And I think it comes back to like, are you continuously progressing towards something bigger than yourself? And are you continually growing? Because life is all about growth. Like we're here to grow. We're going to fail sometimes, but Michael Jordan also said, I failed 1,000,000 times, and that's because I've succeeded, So that I think is the definition of success is trying, going for what you truly resonates with you, and, looking for those growth opportunities.
Love it. You hit the magic G word, growth, and that's what it's about. Having that continuous growth and pushing yourself to grow. I think, it's a cycle, as you push yourself to grow, you also become proud of the thing that you've grown through. As you're growing through, you go through, right? And just on the other side of it, it's great when you can be proud of the things that you've grown through, but then also use those things to help others grow. And that's what you're doing, man. And it's so amazing.
Because if you think about it, like, at the end of the day, our physical bodies, we pass away. So what's the point of storing it inside? Like you can't take anything with you. So, I believe we live in an abundant universe, and that we should share. Like just share what you know, because and paying it forward and pass it on, because again, we're only here for so long. We don't know how long it is, but I think that's how you live an enriching life, is just playing full out and just be willing to share something to help somebody else.
So good. Well, before we get off, if you don't mind sharing with the audience where they can go follow you and check you out and show you some love with the amazing things you're doing, and get that book.
Yeah. My book is called Shattered by Suicide, Renewed by Resilience. It's how to move forward after being left behind. It's on Amazon. It's on Audible as an Audible book as well. And then, you can find me on LinkedIn. 40athletes.com is me and my co-founder's website. You can find us on there. We're on YouTube as well with 40 Athletes, Facebook. We've had a couple of great podcasts with, we had a NBA coach on. We've had, Digger Phelps' daughter, Karen Moyer. She's been on there, great legendary basketball coach. So we've had some really engaging conversations with some awesome people. So you can find us on those platforms. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Again, I just want to say thanks so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles, and thanks so much for all you do. And I wish you continued success.
Likewise, Chip, man, it was a great conversation. Thank you for having me on today.
Yes, sir. Well, again, thanks. And thank you guys for checking out this episode. We'll see you next time. God bless. Go get it.